It's having such a hard time. Come on. Focus. Focus. Oh, it's gonna struggle with me today. There it goes, kind of. Maybe there's too much going on in the background. All right, let's try this. Come on. There we go. Still. See if we can just get this camera. It seems as though it wants to pick up. Wants to maybe pick up right there. Get this lighting raised up just a bit. There we go. So here we are. We're setting this gem. It's garnet. We got to go ahead and if I can get this stupid camera to focus. Okay, come on. Just got to get this. Got to get this green garnet to set. So what we're kind of working on, here's a beautiful blemish. So it's still just a little rickety. So we're using, let me pull this up. So we're using, get my camera, come up just a bit. So we're using almost like a basket. And the issue with these baskets is they're really pretty. But when you go to make it so that it doesn't shake, the stone doesn't move, you have a lot of points of contact. And so when you try and squeeze it here or squeeze it there, it tends to want to twist. And so it's kind of hard to set the stone perfectly. So our goal today, pretty much, just the lighting here a little bit. Our goal is to try and get it to set in this basket, and then we'll be putting it up on the website or live on chat to auction it off. And there's a Utah green garnet, and they're somewhat rare. They're not as common to find. But me and the wife and the kids, we went out and found these ourselves. And so that's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be polishing this and then putting it into a necklace. It's a little necklace. I don't know, you guys tell me. I had somebody tell me that this looks cooler than the front side. I kind of like seeing more of the stone, you know, the little eye or the blemish, but I had a couple of my sister-in-law specifically said that she really liked the wire wrap on the back. You guys tell me, do you guys have any opinions on it? So there's not much left to do on this guy. I'm gonna go ahead and finalize it. Looks like we may need to push, and then I think we're good to start filing and seeing if we can get it to clean up just a bit. So let me get this back in my vise here, or let me drop it. Let me get it back into the vise. We're gonna go ahead and start polishing up where I have been setting these already. So we're gonna kind of come in and we're just gonna clean up these edges. What up, Modest Taco Costa? Kind of taking some of these peaks off, and if you guys can see as I work this, that cage just wants to kind of roll. So I have to be kind of slow and somewhat delicate. But we want to really just take any of those burrs off. And garnet is one of the hardest stones. It's very, very tough, and so the file kind of skates. So the file, even if I hit the stone, the file won't affect the polish that I've put on it. Kind of took that off already, that burr. Come on. The really hard burr right here. And I don't want to reach for the diamond files because the diamond files can scratch the stone. And not all stones can be used with this type of file. The specific type of stone, it's got to be a harder stone. And garnet is a pretty hard material. I was setting some red garnets that we found out of Nevada, up in Ely, Nevada, last night, and trying to set the stone, I slipped with my pair of pliers and accidentally cracked the stone after spending about an hour and a half on it. I was pretty sad. Really sad, actually, because it was looking really pretty. So what we're trying to do is just chase those burrs out so it doesn't catch on any clothing. And I could use my Dremel, but Dremels, when you have multiple prongs, can cause they can just get caught. So it looks like we still have a little bit of movement right here. I'm gonna go ahead and take that burr off. And I may take my pliers and see if I can get this a little tighter. But I think we're close on this one. Excuse my hand, guys. Get in here. All right, let's give her the shake test. So when you shake it, you just don't want there to be any movement. And that's feeling pretty solid to me. So, little kitty came in to say hi. What's up, Opal Kitty? Mouse? What's up, buddy? You coming in? Oh, sweet little kitty. What you doing, bud? We'll get back to these opals. Oh, sorry. Oh, I shouldn't say opals. These garnets. So, moving on, I'm gonna put this guy away. And let's dig through some of this opal stash. And we may be cutting some opals tonight. Here's a really pretty one that we gotta figure out how we're shaping. So what's the shape? Do we go with kind of almost a diamond? Do we go more triangular? That's one that if I can keep this in frame, I may need to switch the camera angle because I think there's too much stuff in the background causing it not to focus. So 1 second, guys. Let's see if we can shift our work area. We're gonna be cutting here soon anyways. Let me get some lighting in here. Boost up that light. Get this guy rolling. Alrighty, we're gonna be cutting soon. Cutting and shaping some opals. Let me get this light on, give me a second. All right, so what we're looking at, everyone, is this guy. So, do I go for a square? I could technically make a couple gems out of this, so we could cut this tip off and square it up so that it's more of a flat gem that we could put in a ring. That could be pretty. Come in like that. It's got some good meat in it. We cut this little edge off and make it more into a square. Kind of like right about there. And then with that, we've got another gem, more of a triangular shape that we could do. So that's definitely something we could attempt. So let me look at this guy for just a sec. So if I do, I'm gonna have to take it over to the table. You know what? Let's go see if we can get a different opal, and we're gonna cut that opal up. I don't have my saw here, and I don't want to take you guys over there. So let's pick out another gem. Oh, Oh, you know what I could do? I do need to get these guys polished. So let me jump. Let's start with the small guy. I shift you over to our semi-polishing wheel, our pre-polish. And we're gonna work on this guy. So there's a lot of potential in this little stone. I'm thinking of putting this guy on like a little pendant. So let me get this rolling. Let's see if you guys, yeah, that's a little bit better. Zoom in just a little bit more. Okay, give me a sec. I gotta get this plugged in, and we should be rolling. All right, just got to get the water on. Here we go. Got some little 3D printed rubber duckies, and those should start floating here soon once the water levels come up. All right, now let's get this guy. The nice thing is opals are pretty soft, and this being such a small stone, shouldn't take too long to get her nice and polished. So it is pretty small. I'm gonna have to do this mostly by feel. But we can see we're already starting to get more color to come out of this. Oh, look at that beautiful color inside there. Heck yeah. And that looks like pre-polish is already done. I'm gonna flip her on this side as well. Yeah, look at that. I hope these colors are coming through the camera, but it's like a galaxy in there. See if I can zoom in just a bit. Look at that gorgeous stone, guys. So I'm gonna try and let as much light into this little tiny stone as possible. So I'm gonna even pre-polish the edges and the sides. But this is where I have to be careful, because in pre-polish, you can burn through your stone. So very light pressure, very light. And here's that really pretty color. Now, this is an Ethiopian opal, and the cool thing with these is they're hydroscopic, and that milky color is actually the stone still being dry, and you can see all that the clear edges. That's the water working its way to the middle. So by the time we're done, this will be pretty much a clear stone, but they dry out. And most opals are hydroscopic, meaning they'll absorb that water. And that's why if you've ever owned an opal ring and it looks different after you're done washing dishes, that's why. Okay, we're gonna go over to polish now. Give me a sec to change the camera angle here real quick for you guys. Stretch it over. There we go. Okay. All right, now let's get this other stone nice and let's get this water off. We're gonna get little baby ducky. It's just gonna be floating around in there. All right. I'll admit, it's not always the most fun to watch teeny tiny little stones get polished. A lot of time you're just staring at my thumb. But again, you guys can kind of see all the colors that are still kind of dancing in there. So as this opal starts to dry out, all of those really pretty colors will come back. And this I plan on putting in like a flat gold or a flat silver bar. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think this would look better? I mean, I apologize, you can't really see the colors all that well right now as it's wet. You think this little would look better in silver or gold? Again, when we're polishing, light polish is really all you need. See those colors kind of coming through. All right, let's go over to fine polish. So here's polish and then fine polish. I gotta switch camera stations here. Give me a sec, everyone. There we go. Alrighty. Let's get kind of looks just like glass on camera. But you guys can kind of see that flash of color in there? That's gonna, when this opal dries back out, you'll see all of those colors return. And in, not quite final polish, but mid polish, I like to, or fine polish, I should say. I like to kind of take my time at this stage, more so than the others, in preparation of final polish. Oh. Now, so many people ask me, how do you, keep hold of those tiny stones in your hand? And truth be told, I really don't have like an answer. I kind of use the pressure of my my hands and the pressure of the wheel to keep it in place. But right now, we just don't need a lot of pressure. Okay, now we're gonna hit it on the back. And then we can go into polishing after this some rough green garnet. Look at that beautiful color. It's kind of poking its head through. Look at that. Again, once these opals start to dry out, all that color returns, and my goodness, that's just gonna look beautiful. I think white gold is kind of where it wants to be. I'm thinking either white gold or a bright silver. I kind of have an affinity for really pretty silver. Lower this down just a bit, guys. There you go. And get some more light up in here. Yeah, little high. Don't forget to, leave a comment or a like. I respond to pretty much every comment. A smaller channel, and so thumbs up and sticking around really helps. We're going to be building jewelry on this channel very shortly, so you'll see rings getting made and necklaces and all sorts of other really fun things. Well, at least fun for me, What's interesting is you go back even 10 years ago and tell me that I'd be polishing gemstones to make rings and necklaces, and I would have laughed. And I would have called you crazy. Oh yeah, look at that. My goodness, just gorgeous. Okay, let's dry her off really quick and let's see where she's at. Let's see how the final polish went. One sec. Grand reveal. Ooh, she's glassy, guys. She's glassy, grand reveal. The backside needs a little work, I won't lie. But she's polished. Now let me zoom out just a bit. Okay. Oh yeah. This won't take too long to dry. Overall, it's a pretty small stone. I move this light over. The back looks like it could use a little bit more pre-polish. You can see those scratches. See those scratches on the back side? So it looks like it's on the top, but it's not. Those scratches or grooves on the back side of this stone. So we're gonna spend a little bit more time trying to get those scratches out. But lots of color, lots of potential. We're gonna wait for this guy to dry. Let me grab some rough out of the green garnet, and we'll take a look at it and see what gems we can get polished up and looking beautiful. Let's see. So we are going to be selling this here soon. Oh, you know what? Okay, so we've got some green garnet. But we also have some dirty garnet. And so it's like clear, but it's also got... So let me show you guys. Ooh, this is a... No, this will be a good one. Let me show you. So here's a really cool green garnet. It's not very vibrant, but you can see that beautiful green. This is out of Utah. We got it down in Milford, me and the fam. So this is kind of how they come out of the rock or the matrix. A little rough. They come in this crystallized form. So we're gonna make this thing absolutely glassy smooth, and looking at it, I don't see too many fractures. I think this is gonna be a very, very beautiful gem by the time we're done. So let's get it over. Let me switch camera angles for you guys. Let me get it over. We gotta hit it with the diamond wheel first. So let's get on over. Hook you up and get you over. And we're gonna be starting on this wheel right here. Get her to focus. Sorry guys. Work on that camera work. Get this light over. Okay, let me get the water running. We should be cruising. So how many of you guys have, like, you know, the case of the Mondays? I definitely do. All I could think about at work today was getting home so that I could cut some garnets. Don't mind Mr. Ducky. He'll just be floating around here in a minute. Get this water flowing. Okay. And this green garnet, garnet's one of the tougher materials out there. There's a lot of abrasive, like sandpapers and a whole bunch of stuff like that that's made out of garnet. But green garnet is on the softer side. It is still really, really hard. I think it's like 80 on the Mohs scale. Maybe harder. It'll skate a file. Just meaning you hit it with the standard file, not diamond file, it'll roll off of it like glass. And once we clean this up, depending on how it's looking, we can decide if we want to keep it in its more natural form. We're starting to get a small chip. 1 second. It happens. Not uncommon. But we'll probably lose that tip here soon. It's gonna, you can see that fracture internally. It'll probably pop off and we'll have to reshape that stone, which is okay. Oop. Just trying to square everything up. Now we're going to go after this scale on the back side. Came out pretty quick. All right, she's taking shape. It's pretty, there's some inclusions, obviously. But I think this one's gonna clean up really nice. Got a little rough bottom here. Let's take care of his backside here real quick. Give it a new tabletop, and we'll probably add a facet right there, just a small one. Just kind of clean up that little rough area. A diamond wheel makes pretty quick work of it. Yeah, look at that. Already got that facet in there. So we still have a little bit of dirt right in there. I think we're gonna keep, let me dry her off here really quick. Little debris. So as you guys can see, this is what I usually do with these is I wrap them in these beautiful golden pendants. And here's a larger stone. But before it gets to this beautiful shine, you know, and clarity, we got to rough them in. So this is a really good size for these wire wraps. And I'm gonna, just this one little speck right here, I'm gonna chase that out just a little bit. Let's see if we can get almost perfect clarity out of this stone. I think I'm going to, let's go over to pre-polish. And you guys tell me, do you like the camera angle a little further away or a little closer out? We're already starting to get so much more clarity out of this, just even on pre-polish. So this is going to be a very jammy gem. Yeah. Keep that in focus. That's going to be gorgeous, guys. And what's cool is this is just how you get them out of, they come basically with all these facets. They already come looking like this. And so it's cool. All you really do is just kind of polish them out. And we kind of raw dog it. If you take a look, these are, for this collection, these are some of the pendants that we're making. These are all handmade, hand set. They're not all the same size. And because we went out to a mine in Utah and found these ourselves, you know, we only have so many. So as soon as they're gone, they're gone. But we've got quite a bit. We've got a lot. We've got enough for at least, I'd say probably 50, 60 pendants. And I was gonna ask your guys' opinion on this. Tell me what you think in the comments. I was talking to the wife today. We're out at lunch and said, you know, what if we did a 50 on 50? Meaning we find the gemstone of each state in the United States, and then we make 50, whether they're necklaces or rings. We make exactly 50 of them and then sell them on our website. And then that way you guys are getting where you're from a piece of jewelry with the gemstone of your state, because every state's got a gemstone that's theirs. Utah, it is the topaz, I believe. It's either topaz or red beryl. Idaho, it's the star garnet, I believe, in Idaho. Montana is the sapphire. New York, I believe, is the Herkimer diamond. I could be wrong. You guys feel free to correct me in the comments. But I believe New York is the Herkimer diamond. Georgia, it's something rainbow. I don't remember. I guess I need to freshen up on my the 50 states gemstones. Okay, I'm gonna dry this off. Give me a second, guys. And the reason you dry gemstones off, or at least I do in between stages, is you want to look to make sure that it polished. So you hit the light, you don't see any of the deep scratches. Hit the light, no real deep scratches. You just want to make sure that you're ready for the next stage. And I believe we are with this guy. It looks, that one could probably use a little bit more polish. So the story is, it was Mother's Day morning when we went out to go find these gemstones. And we woke the wife up with breakfast in bed. This was this year, Mother's Day this year. We woke the wife up and made her breakfast in bed. And I asked her, what do you want to do today? And we got thinking about it, and we said, hey, you know what? Let's do something a little spontaneous. Why don't we why don't we drive 4 hours from the house? It's still pretty early. It's about 7 in the morning. Why don't we drive out to Milford in Utah? It's about a 4-hour drive, and go see if we can find some green garnets. So that's exactly what we did. We just jumped in the car, drove out there. I think we got there about 1 o'clock, stayed till about 4-ish, 4 or 5 in the afternoon. It was really hot. And then we came home, and we collected, in total, probably over a couple hundred of these, but ones that we'll say that we can actually turn into gemstones, you know, maybe 50, and this is one of them. All right, let's go over to pre-polish. Give me a second to switch the camera and the lights. Eventually, I'm gonna have my studio all set up so that the lights never move. The camera will kind of always move, especially live. When you're filming shorts or long form, it's a lot easier, you know, to have your camera angles without it, you know, messing up and getting all goofy, excuse me. I turn the water off over here, guys. Oh, little Mr. Ducky, he tipped over. Let's give him a float. Ah, he's capsized. I had these little 3D ducks printed in hopes that they'd float, but it seems like he floats better upside down. Okay, well, let's get this rolling. Light switched over. And in gems, honestly, lighting is just super important. You got to be able to see the scratches and know when to move. So, and on these natural stones, it's kind of a game to remember which facet you've already polished. So I try and go in a sequence, but sometimes I just forget. You know, my ADD brain. So I'll usually start on one end and then just kind of rotate from there. Let me see. And that way I kind of know I'll polish everything on one side. So I am a smaller channel. As many thumbs up as you can give me and as many comments, it just really helps. I know like this content isn't for everyone, you know. I ain't no Mr. Beast, but definitely know how to make some jewelry and some gems. And if you're really nice, I may send you a private message offering you either a gem or a piece of jewelry that I made. You gotta be really nice. These garnets. I don't know, I just love gems. I mean, come on. Imagine that. We're polishing up some Utah green garnets. Beautiful gemstone. This one in particular is probably worth about, once polished, I would say right around $70. That's what I'd probably put it on eBay for. So you don't really get a lot of high quality green garnets, at least for sale. I'm sure that there's lots of green garnets, especially out of, I believe there's some in Mozambique. But you can correct me if I'm wrong. And I just can't believe that that lady killed that guy, though. You know? The one out of Oregon. Shout out if you're in the Oregon area, but don't shout out going backwards if you were friends with or knew the lady that killed her husband out there over a hot dog. I'm pretty sure I've hit every facet, so I'm gonna dry this off, take a look, and let you guys know what I find. What I find. You're not alone. Da, 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 da. Here comes the ducky. Okay. She's looking all right. I gotta come off camera for just a second, guys. You know what? Hang on. Let me zoom out. And that way you guys can kind of see and really... There we go. I'll take a little bit closer of a look from my side. What we're really looking for is to make sure that there's no more scratches. This side needs a little bit more. So a couple things is in about a week, probably next upload, I've got my casting machine, I've got my silversmithing, got a whole bunch of stuff that's coming. It's in the mail right now. So I'll be able to cast my own rings. And the only other thing I'm really waiting on is to get a faceter. And that'll allow me to make these into more diamond shapes. Just easier. I do cut more gem style emerald cuts and pillow cuts and princess cuts by hand, but you can't always get a consistent stone that way. She's looking good. Okay, let's go over to fine polish before we hit up what's it called? A final. Yeah, friend. Da, 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 da. So what's your guys' opinion? Do you think this is green, clear, in terms of color? I think it's a little green. It's obviously not shockingly green, but it's definitely green. Now this pad that I'm cleaning on, or let's see a little green in there. So what'd you guys all eat for dinner? I had some Indian curry with paneer, you know, that cheese. Oh man, so freaking good. So if you're new, whether this is your type of content or not, really appreciate a little thumbs up, a comment, say hi, I'll give you a shout out. I'm a small channel, love to grow, you know, chase that bag, make that dough, for show. without setting up a an OnlyFans. Definitely like my new camera setup. It is significantly nicer now I had it before. All right, let's dry this off and see what she looks like, everyone. Oh, where's the stone? There it is. So we're in fine polish. Got a couple. She's starting to get glass-like. It's always funny to me, these lights. How it makes everything look. In this lighting, it looks a lot more green. And others, it just makes it look pretty clear. Okay, I think we're ready to move on to final polish, guys. She's looking pretty solid. And for those of you that are here, let me show you what we're getting this gem ready for. So these are some of the pendants that I've been making in this collection. I say collection because we found these green garnets, me and the wife, out in Milford, Utah. And we're only gonna be making them until we run out. And there's only about probably 5 to 6 pieces, or sorry, 5 to 6, about 50 pieces total. So once we run out, that's kind of it. But they're really beautiful, and we'll be hopefully wrapping this one tonight in some in a faceted, I guess you could say, or set it in that basket. So what's so funny is in this lighting it looks like a pale green. So all right, let's get back to it. What's up, Office O2B? What's going down, Charlie Brown? If your username is office, does that mean you're still at the office? Thankfully not. Great. I would agree. I personally hate being in the office more than just about anything. Fortunately, my truck a lot of the times is my office. What up, Aaron? How you doing? Everybody, don't forget to like and comment. Helps the channel grow. If you feel like sharing, appreciate it. Aaron, where's Mason up in this joint? You got to get Mason and Jadrian to jump on. Then it'll be a real party. So Office O2B, what do you do for work? If you don't mind me asking. We got to get Jess up in here. Shawnee Wani. You know what I mean? This is pretty close to being done, guys. That clarity. So those of you that were here from the very beginning, you would know. What up, Jade? What up, Maydog? What's going down? My favorite Opal guys. Well, tonight, we are not cutting opals, but we are cutting some green garnets, and we're trying to work on final polish. So, Mason, Jade, Aaron, just got this one set. This one I've got to clean up. It's still a little rough, but what do you guys rate it on a scale between 1 and super dumb? Check this garnet here. This other one. See where we're at in the polishing stage. 10 out of 10. All right. That's what I like to hear. We still need to polish. I forget how much tougher it is to get these garnets to polish up. Oh, heck yeah. You can buy it. You can buy anything if you have money. Eventually, we'll get all of these up on the web, on our website for sale. Or just shoot me an offer in the comment section and I'll just send it your way. I know a postman that can send it off to you pretty quick. All right, let's see. Postman at your service. Yeah, it's the craziest thing. You give these guys that have cars money and then they drop your stuff off for you. Pretty revolutionary. You know, we could, let me hit it on the cesium pad. It's like my least favorite thing. So many times I've burned stones, or these things have just shot the stones right out of my hands. But what the cesium does is it polishes it to a much higher degree, and it gives it a luster that you usually don't see with just regular polish. And you can see some of that starting to see how much shinier it is versus one without the cesium. Let's hit this. And I may need to add more on there, but this stuff is messy, it's sticky. If it gets on your hands, it's like almost impossible to get off. I could probably build something around it, TBH, so that even if they did take off on me, other problem is garnets are kinda, let me add a little bit of water, see if that helps. All right. Okay, so here's a prime example. See how much it's still kind of rough. Again, it's really hard to get garnet to be absolutely glassy. It just takes more time. It's a tough stone. I think that's pretty good. Let's go over, let me move you guys over to the workstation. Let's do some mock-ups. What do you think about that? Rubber duck. All right. Let's see. Let me flip you around. Gotta get the lights turned around as well. Doesn't help if I drop the dumb phone, right? I swear, going live, it really isn't as easy as some people make it. I don't get it, dude. I don't know how people are so good at going live. Oh, you know what? Give me a sec. I gotta go turn this guy and this guy. All right. turn the light up just a bit. So these are the only settings I currently have. I've got more coming in the mail, but these ones tend to be really gorgeous. And I think this will look great. Just like that. Obviously, we're gonna cut this back, but we'll kind of center it. What do you guys think? Should I have the whole thing? Uh, Trying to decide if we should wrap the whole stone or just part of it. I'm thinking maybe do a full wrap. So my stone doesn't fall out again, I'm gonna posture these up just a little bit. Not a lot. Baby girl, just a little bit. If you know that song, I know you're my age. You dumb thing, just focus. Mason, I'm pretty sure you know that song. Don't act. Okay, let's try and wrap this whole. This is the hardest part, is getting the first prongs set. Let's take a look at this guy right here. Move this light over so that there's some light from this angle as well. Okay, tighten up this just a bit. Not a lot, baby girl, just a little bit. Let's see. I don't think it wants to go that way. may bring, get my needle nose round pliers here. We're gonna try and turn this branch all the way so that there's, yeah, there we go. So that there's a better little holding spot. I'm gonna turn these little guys up as well. Okay. I don't know why I feel like I have to stand up for this part, but it just feels right. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this branch and I'm gonna try and cup it. So this is where you go slow. It's a little boring, but gets to slow the brain down. Makes you have to think a little bit harder. And what's funny is this is the kind of stuff that after long days of work generally relaxes me. It's just finding something else to create, to be proud of. And there we go. That looks a lot better on the camera. Okay, so now let's get stone out of there. We're gonna kind of roll this all together. Get this branch in there. So everyone's opinion is to wrap this whole thing or what? Is that what we're doing? Fully wrapping the stone. Because we definitely can do that. Gotta go slow. Okay, so now I'm gonna come in and try and set this. I might have to get my chair for this part. I gotta get down to its level. Thanks, Jade. Appreciate it. Get some sueño. All right. Try and get these guys to come a little bit closer. I don't have the angles quite right on this. That's the hard part about these baskets is the whole frame kind of wants to flex on you. And so as you can see, there's just so much mass that it's not always the easiest to get these to conform and cooperate, which kind of sucks because I really like them. I think these baskets that you can set these stones in honestly are really pretty, but they're not the easiest to work with when it comes to stone setting. You sometimes have to get creative and use your snips. Okay, so let's start working on this angle. Turn. And we may snip this guy off, this little arm. I see it probably getting in the way more than not. So I'm gonna go ahead and executive decision and make that snip. There we go. You know what? We've got quite a bit that we can wrap this way. So before I address this guy, we may end up snipping that one off too. Let's work on kind of this area coming across. See, there's a little branch right here on this side, right there. I'm probably gonna have to either cut or bend down. Get my pusher. This is the hard part. It's making sure that these tines are nice and snug. I'm probably gonna have to go in there with my snips. And you can see there's that gap right there. So we gotta get this, we may have to snip it, but ideally I'd love to be able to push it so it's making contact. But sometimes when trying to push another tine, it just pushes the one you want out of the way. I may have to bezel this slightly. It's kind of got a thick base, which will make it harder to bend. So I'm gonna move that back out of the way. I'm gonna get my file here. I'm gonna come in and try and file this so that we've got a little channel. that we can then bend this piece a little bit nicer. I don't know if you guys can see that little channel that we're making right here. On these thicker prongs, you could say, it just makes it so that when you go to get it to conform, it conforms a little easier. And that might have been a little too much. I think we got it. I don't know that this branch will ever reach. It's a little out there. All right, let's look at this guy. Slowly but surely, guys, we're making progress. So now let's get this guy moved up, down. Let me get my pusher. Try and tighten up as many gaps as possible. Oh, sorry, out of frame, guys. I'm looking at the workpiece, not my phone. Really what we're trying to do here when setting these stones in the basket is just do opposing pressure. Really want these the stone to have absolutely no movement in it. Okay, I'm gonna try and get this guy to turn and then turn. All right. Okay, that seems to hold all right. I don't think this arm, I'm gonna just remove this arm. I don't think that arm was ever gonna make it. We might be able to take this and reposition it up this way. Kind of accommodate that area. There we go. Gonna have to cut some of these tines. Gotta rotate this. Okay, I've gotta adjust. All right. So on the back side here, let me see if I can get it. Move the camera as we go. Had to adjust this tine right here. So we're almost to a full wrap. We've got a bit of a gap. I'm gonna grab my handy dandy little file. Got a bit of a gap right here. I'm gonna see what we can do about it. But this is a pretty thick piece of the metal. So we'll see. But we definitely want zero rattle, whether there's a gap or not. Because you can, just because there's a gap doesn't mean that it's not, you can't set it properly. Let's see if we can get in though. And this is always the scary part. Can't tell you how many stones I have accidentally cracked doing exactly what I just did. Okay, look at that. We got a decent amount of that gap out. It looks so cool. Okay. I broke a stone just last night doing this exact same thing. And there's a little tiny gap, but I think for the most part it is worked out. So let me reposition this tine here, and we're gonna work on this tine again. Kind of want these guys to be, you want to find the natural bevels, there we go, of the stone. And that's where the tines tend to like to sit. All right. We're gonna get rid of this one right there. It's kind of in the way. I don't think it's really adding anything. Okay. Probably gonna have to shorten this guy up too. So let's see if we can get natural pressure without shifting the whole cage, which I kind of just did. That gap we just got rid of is now back. And like I was saying, it's the hard thing about these full stone wraps is trying to make an adjustment without shifting the basket. I mean, that's tight. That stone ain't going nowhere. Well, a little bit. It's a little bit going somewhere. But we'll fix that. Let's see, we are youth of the nation. I'm gonna have to cut something off. It's too busy. What do you guys think? Take this top tine off. I think that makes the most, this guy right there, the most sense. That's the one. Yeah, that looks good. So a technique I've kind of learned on my own, because I'm self-taught, for those of you that don't know. And with these baskets, what I've learned is the easiest way, a lot of the times, to set the stone is you take, so that these prongs are kind of digging in so that there's not movement, is you take these guys and you kind of grab where you want it to pinch, and then you don't cut it, you just twist it. So let me show you. So you see how there's kind of, oh gosh, how there's kind of a gap right there. So you can see it's sitting off the stone. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my little snips and I'm gonna grab it right here. And I'm gonna do my best not, well, first, let me push it down, make sure I get it as far down as I can. And then I'm gonna take my snip, and with just enough pressure to hold it, but not enough to snip it, I'm going to grab the tip of that branch tine. I'm gonna kind of pull it forward so it almost stretches that metal. And it puts, you can see a little crimp, kind of forces that metal down, but then it also forces it in. So then that stone sets in a much more secure way, while still looking pretty. Okay, so now we just gotta drift this guy down. I'm gonna have to cut this branch off. I just don't think we've got room for it. So I'm just gonna make that executive decision and come in and a lot of times what I'll do with this waste is I will repurpose it. Bend these arms up and set smaller gems in them. There's a lot that you can do with these, the waste on these. All right, and I'm gonna have to for sure cut this arm up just slightly. Let's kind of work everything first. Okay. give that guy a good little snip. Circumcise him just a bit. He's a little long. Oh, out of frame. Gosh, what am I doing? All right, let's give her the shake test before we start filing in the look test. So we're gonna file that flat. It's not moving. I'm gonna see if I can bring this arm down. It looks a little off to me. It looks not very pretty. I might use a hammer for that. But I might be able to just drift it. Let's see. I actually really hate the way this looks, at least on the top. I feel like there's some gaps here that need to get corrected. Tines themselves look okay, but this looks terrible to me. So let me see if I can fix that. Let's try and rebend the frame. Twister. Okay, and then let's bring this body down. Oh, already much better. Now that looks better. Still got to do some fine adjusting, but let me get this shoulder to hug it. Oh man, that air gap is so ugly to me. Let's see if there's anything that we can do to get that to flatten out. Let's double check. There's no pinch points. So I could, without affecting it, I'll snip actually here. That'll allow this to drift down, and then I'll cut a little bit off that. That's what we'll do. Okay, let me get my snips. All right, so we're gonna come in and we're going to break this support. Probably actually more like right here. And then I'm gonna cut this back probably till about here. And let's work on it in the back side here. So we can adjust this guy. That'll work lovely. And then we can move him slightly over. Maybe not. I may have to get a different pair of pliers, but let's see. Come on, baby. Work with my shift. Oh, it's really stiff. That's the thicker part of the, there we go. She's slowly turning. Overpinched it. You gotta be careful when you're working with the metal that you don't work harden it and then cause it to break. So it's kind of a delicate dance of getting the piece to work with you as well as moving it or not moving it too much that you work hard in the metal. What work hardening is it just means that it cracks or it breaks off. So, okay, I'm gonna snip that arm back just a little bit. I'm gonna use some downward force. All right, let me grab my pusher and see. I'm gonna have to cut this back just a little bit more. It's kind of in the way. I'll drift this. Okay, now I see it starting to take shape a little bit. A little bit of gap there still, so let me grab the pliers. See if we can put some good force on it. I may have to get the big pliers out if we can't. I'm gonna try and leverage off the stone itself. Oh, that went down remarkably easier than I thought. Okay, let's shift this guy. still kind of a big air gap. Looks better. Let's see if we can get this to lay down any better right here. Which kind of did. And then, thing is, if I cut that, so let's just see if we can flatten her out just a bit. We may have to cut some. As we flatten this stone out, it's gonna lengthen it by pushing these this way. So we may have to cut some of those off a little bit. I'm getting there. Yeah, so we can see kind of as I suspected, it pushed those out just a bit. And now it's gonna interfere with this guy that we just set. So we're gonna go ahead and trim that up. Goodness. All right. So we are cutting, started to snip, finished snipping this guy. A little bit of a circumcision. And we may need to what I'll do is let me flatten it, and then I will try and actually set that tine. Oh my goodness. I've been doing this all day and my hands are tired, so I'm starting to drop everything. I address that part in the back too, but okay, let's see. So we're on this angle. Flatten him out just a bit. And then I will, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pinch and then twist and then snip. And then that way it's also setting, that tine is also setting into the stone. So this is kind of the technique I learned on my own, is you grab right about, let's say here where we want to pinch it off, right about there. And then I'm going to pull. Still kind of in the way, hang on guys. Okay, I'm gonna grab right about here. And then apart from just snipping it, I'm gonna grab it and then I'm gonna twist forward. And then twist forward, and then right where you kind of feel that it's really going, then you snip. And it usually forces a nice lip down that holds, you can see it, that holds that stone in place. So you're trimming and helping set all at the same time. movement in that stone. I hope once we get this guy on. So this is where we really just start looking for gaps. We try and close as many gaps as possible, and then we just start setting tines. Shoot. That stone still, as I shake it, has a little bit of a wiggle, which I don't want. Okay, so now we're gonna chase after this guy right here. We're gonna go after that gap. Set this tine here. So I'm doing in a technique, I don't know if it's actually a technique that people know, but I'm gonna grab this without snipping it. And I'm gonna push and kind of push and pull at the same time. And you can see that usually forces that metal, especially in these cages, to push down. And I'll come back with a file and we'll polish that burr that I created out of it. I mean, we're gonna do the same thing on this guy. So you kind of came out of alignment. So I'm gonna grab, and this is just a method I've found works well with these types of cages. There's so many different angles, and you can see that one kind of set. So many different angles. See how it's hitting it? Oh, little air gap. Let me grab, we're gonna, again, kind of pull right at the tip. And then twist. Depending on how tight you want it, you will twist and then snip at the same time. Just like as it sets the stone. See, it's hugging right there really nice now. There we go. It's just hard, these cages, because you make an adjustment this way and it'll kind of twist it. Oh yeah, it does kind of look like a heart. It's because I'm in love. I'm in love. Straighten that clasp out just a little bit. I'm gonna try and pull this guy down. Really want 0. Okay, that did it. Brought her down. It's always gonna be some gaps. For the most part, you want as few as you can, and then I'm gonna come back over here. This one kind of shifted out in alignment, so I'm gonna grab it, twist it just slightly, and then get it with the pliers again. All right, what else did I shift? I think that's gotta be it. Doing the shake test, a little bit of movement. I'm not exactly sure where it's at. It's not up and down. It's more of a side to side. So, oh, it could be this tine right there. Still a little bit of a gap. So I'm gonna do the pinch and twist method, see if we can get it to reset. Let's take a look at her. Dun dun, dun dun. Now that you said it looks like a heart, I can't get that out of my head. Dun dun, dun dun. Let me straighten this guy out one more time. Start to curve a little bit. That did it. Okay. I think that one is done. No more shake. Obviously, I'm gonna take a file to it in the areas that it definitely needs it. So let me get this chucked up here really quick. So now we're just trying to take the sharp edges off so that it doesn't catch on clothing or snag a t-shirt or, you know, get your hair caught. And apart from the file, I'll take it over to my hand polisher and get it polished up. You want to take those harsh edges off. And then after you're done, you want to fill it. Make sure it doesn't catch. And the easiest way to do that is you just round off those corners. So anything that's stiff, you just add a round burr to it, and it usually makes it so that it won't catch on anything again. And with certain metals, you have to be careful because filing it can actually pull a prong. Thought I got this one out, but apparently not. She needs to be clean. She's a little dirty from all the work we've been doing. Trying to find any more burrs. There's one right here. I thought I had caught that one, but I guess not. That smoothed it out. Just don't want anything that's gonna catch on your clothes. All right, I think she just needs a bath in the ultrasonic cleaner. I'll probably do that in the morning. But she's Dunsky. Give her a bath in the ultrasonic cleaner, and then we'll also give her a quick polish. I'm gonna straighten this out. Oh. I think she's looking pretty good, guys. Not half bad. All right, guys. Well, that's going to conclude the live stream tonight. Thanks for coming with me to cut and polish the green garnet, and then those that stuck around to see it set. I think it looks really good. Leave me a comment what you guys think, and but I think she came out really, really pretty. Again, tomorrow I'll get it in the ultrasonic, and then we'll give it a final polish, and I bet you she's just going to gleam. All right, you guys have a good night. I'm out. I'm going to bed.